Ooga fucking ooga cunts, and welcome back to another Han Solo. We talk about some nerdy ass shit, and today's nerdy ass shit is all about DC and why they just don't learn their fucking lessons because they keep pushing the stupidest fucking ideas, like a Joker origin movie.
Yeah, that seems fucking retarded.
Yeah, like okay.
Never mind. Do we need that? It seems like a dumb fucking idea.
It's an extremely dumb idea. Look, when Marvel actually gave a little bit of backstory to Wolverine, most of the fan base for Wolverine got a little pissed off and said, no, you should keep it as, a mystery because we don't need to know. And then they thought about it for a second and went, no, give me that shit. I want to fucking know. I want to know about his life. Let me. I want all of this. And it was one of their best fucking sellers of that time, because everyone was enthralled with the X-Men Wolverine origin story. And it was fucking amazing. I actually own the first 12 issues of it, because it does continue on after.
Yeah, but Wolverine has, at least to a degree, a properly established backstory. He has a real origin.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker, they've always tried to keep it vague. They've tried to keep it hidden. They've changed it up in multiple different tellings. What the fuck do you do with something like that?
I don't know, because when I think about it, I do like the idea that Wolverine has his origin story, and it was done very, very well. It even actually hints to why he has such an obsession with redheads. It's kind of cute, actually, because the first woman he ever actually fell in love with was a beautiful redhead named Rose. And ever since then, Wolverine can't stop getting himself into relationships with redheads, which, oddly enough, and funny enough, always end in the worst fucking way possible. Sometimes with death. But but that's Wolverine, and he was actually well-rounded. He was developed properly.
Terrible
Everything
movie. Terrible fucking movie.
God, no, we don't talk about the moon. The moon is so it's such a shit movie. But yeah, the comic book story that was really well done, and I loved how they kind of hinted at the idea that maybe Dog was also Sabretooth, but he really wasn't. But he's clearly his half brother. And then you also get the idea, well, is he really the son of John Howlett Sr., or is he actually the son of Logan? Because both of them have traits that Wolverine eventually grows up to actually have in facial features and overall appearance and such. So it's kind of a mystery, still a little bit, but enough to really give the audience exactly what they still want. I never read that much further into the whole Wolverine origin story. The Joker, on the other hand, is chaos incarnate. He's not supposed to have an origin story. The closest to it
it's
that we
not
ever
even the comics, though, Brockus. They're making a Joker origin movie.
I know, and we already had the animated Killing Joke, which was fucking great. The second half, not the first half. Fuck that Batgirl fucking Batman shit. I reject that every single time somebody tries to toss that shit my way. No, fuck you. But the Killing Joke was great because one of my favorite lines from it is, as Joker is going through the memories of this so-called man's life, he actually states, sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another. Hinting at the Joker is so fucking crazy, he can't even remember his own actual stories. He doesn't know which one is real, which one is just made up. He doesn't know, and that's one of the things that makes his mystery so intriguing. This is why we don't need a Joker origin story. And the only name I do accept as Joker's real name is Jack Napier. And the only reason why is because, let's face it, it's the most common name they do actually use for Joker's real name, air quotes. But Joker origin movie, DC, stop. Look at what you've done so far. The only decent origin movie you've had so far is Wonder Woman, and you still found a way to fuck that up in the second half.
And see, I don't feel like it's any cause for outrage. If we're being honest, they're not ruining anything because their current run of shit ain't great to start. I just think there's no way it can be good. You know, they're gonna have to pick one of the origins, and no matter what, because all of the origins have been very vague, they're gonna have to add a lot, and I don't know if I trust the DC cinematic storytellers.
Yeah, I really don't trust the DC movie writers at all. But as I said, Wonder Woman was actually the only decent movie that DC's given us so far. Suicide Squad was hot shit. Batman versus Superman was absolute garbage. Justice League was worse than Batman versus Superman. I'm not even kidding you. Justice League, the movie, the one that recently came out, legitimately made me appreciate the fucking trash fire that was Batman versus Superman. That should tell you something about how bad Justice League was as a movie. This was supposed to be their grand team movie. This was supposed to be their answer to the Avengers. And it wasn't even 1/10 of what the Avengers was. The characters were all wrong, with the exception of...
To be fair, the Justice League isn't 1/10 of what the Avengers are, so... Well, I mean, were. I guess I don't know what the current lineup of either looks like.
Okay, this is where I hate being a bit of a DC fag here. Justice League came first. Justice Society came before that. The Avengers was nothing more than a last-ditch effort project to try to get people buying Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Giant Man comic books. I'm not even kidding you. Those 5 books were selling so piss poorly that they just threw them into one book called The Avengers. And they put them together because the others were doing so bad that they just were like...
It's about time you got here, Jimmy.
I lost track of time.
Yeah, you was watching anime. Your dick was in your hand. Brockus filled me in.
Did you watch Cat Planet Cuties?
No, and no on the other part too. Schmeckel, it's 30 right now. It's the temperature. It's hot as balls.
Oh, 35. You're complaining about 35, Semaj.
You know what? Fuck you. But also, like, it's so hot. Any extra activity is strenuous to my health. That's how fucking hot it is right now.
You can't even eat ice cream?
I wish I had ice cream. I don't have ice cream.
One second. Since Lo-Fi came here and brought it up, Lo-Fi is apparently Moonifest Destiny in the chat. I like the hidden sausage one better. She says, "Why watch this when you can watch the proper villains disband in just drama?" Semaj does not want us. Semaj does not want us letting Han Solo dissolve into drama. But Brockus, can you give me the brief explanation of what's going on over there?
Brief explanation. I was watching very little of the stream just before I actually jumped onto the Hangouts. Apparently, Antihero got caught in a bit of drama, and it turns out that Proper Villains was being completely replaced by a new team of people. Zelka, Dunt, and Lo-Fi did not know about it, and Antihero unfortunately got caught in some crossfires. So that's as far as I really got. I don't really know anything else other than that. I didn't watch very much of it. But yeah, it looks like Antoine was just completely replacing his team. And what can you do? You know, I walked away from that fucking group a while ago, even though I still talk to Lo-Fi, even though I'm still cool with Tyro and Antihero and all that shit. You know, whatever. It's not a big deal. I walked away from it, so I have no idea what the fuck is actually going on in that world. The only concern I have right now is...
your new family.
Pretty much, yeah. Like helping keep Cunt Stream alive as much as possible with my crazy rants and my Semaj, why won't you let me love you?
The same reason why I won't let most people love me. I don't fucking want to be touched. Don't touch me.
Oh, bullshit! You don't want to be touched, Semaj.
I
10 years.
I haven't been touched in so long. I'm too scared to try. Don't keep. They're gross.
What if he's remembering it wrong? What if it doesn't feel good?
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's turned pleasurable memories into trauma now.
That could very well happen. Yeah.
But anyway, before we get back to the topic, I do have one more question about the villain ship, Brockus.
Huh?
Do you think them falling apart has anything to do with you leaving?
I don't think so. I mean, honestly, if things fell apart simply because I left, then that speaks a lot on the group as a whole, I guess. But I really don't think me leaving is actually what caused the proper villains to eventually fall apart. To be honest, I believe that Lo-Fi will still continue to stream with Zell and Kadunt and continue on from there. Like, at least half of the original proper villains, I suppose you could say, are still.
It's just fucking Antoine that's persona non grata.
I guess so. I guess you could say that. I don't. Again, I have no idea what's going on with any of these people. The only one I talk to still is Lo-Fi, and Lo-Fi and I, for the most part, have just been talking about stuff that's been going on with us. Like recently, her fucking cut that she got while she was apparently putting on her pants, and there was a piece of glass inside it, and it cut her fucking badly. So there's a pretty big gash on her leg. That was pretty nasty. I hope she's actually gotten better from that. But yeah, like I just, me and Lo-Fi still talk. No big deal. I think if anything, what may have happened was probably Antoine just tried to move away from everything as much as possible. So he eliminated any link to the first group.
Well, it could be that may have played a factor, like you leaving and all that, because it wasn't like
it was the glue that held them together.
Maybe not so much that it's the how it got broken up, dragging Brockus through the mud and all that kind of stuff. All the various different things happened. It was a very dramatic breakup, if you will, and that could have consequences and ripple effects. It could be that maybe Brockus wasn't the glue. But it may have been the foundation in which it shires the friendship.
Okay, he wasn't their glue; he was their fucking rock. Whatever.
It just like look when you
straw that broke the camel's back.
It could have also just been like some friendships are delicate, and you throw a stone in a glass house, everything comes clapping.
All of these guys are fucking delicate.
Well, maybe I don't know. It was, let's just say it wasn't a good breakup, and
it was not. It was messy.
It was messy, and like most messy breakups, it tends to leave an after effect, and it could just shatter everything else. At this point, I mean, it could either get better or it can get worse. And at this point, it sounds like it's getting worse. It might be for the best to just sort of dissolve the proper villains, in my opinion, and come back and rename yourself as something else.
Or do what y'all should probably do. Stop interacting with the ones that don't work out together. Like Brockus, you and Zell and Antoine, I guess. You guys go your separate ways, right?
I haven't interacted with them in weeks.
Yeah.
If the rest of them have an issue with Antoine, go your separate ways. Just calm the fuck down. You're all old as shit.
Honestly, they're fine. I truly believe Lo-Fi has enough of a fan base and will have enough of a attention grab for her to actually be able to regain that same popularity, that same crowd that proper villains used to bring in and all that stuff. I actually think that Lo-Fi is entertaining enough, and if she really wants to continue streaming with the people that she streams, then she obviously believes that they are entertaining enough or they are interesting enough for people to keep wanting to watch streams with and shit. So they're fine.
She may have a topic. We have Lo-Fi in the chat. We have we got Ali in the chat. They had some private beef that I'm hoping turns public. Here, obviously.
On this show, please.
No, not on Hansel. We'll wait until what do we got tomorrow? Yeah, not Safer Wednesdays is tomorrow. We'll do it there.
Yeah, this whole topic itself, I keep this rail from the nerd topic that is us basically looking at DC and Warner Brothers and saying, you guys need to fucking stop. You need to stop while you can.
That's not going to happen. Not why they can still make money.
Before we get back to the topic, I've just been reminded in the chat. Igor, you going back to school?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a drafting certification so I can fusion that with my 3D my decade of 3D modeling and rendering experience to open up some new avenues for work.
Shit, good on you, man. I don't really know what the field entails, but you're fucking bettering yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's always a good thing. So, all right. Well, I hope that works out.
So anyway, Semaj, Igor, what do you think of this idea for a Joker origin movie?
My opinion is, yeah. I mean, the last few movies for DC have been garbage. Honestly, before they start trying to give their filmatic villains history, why don't they try to reboot, slow it down, and make something quality to work on top of?
From what I've heard, that there's already been a reckoning at DC or Warner Brothers, that they've already fired a lot of people who were in charge of the whole cinematic universe. They've pretty much fired most of the people there and only kept a very few. I don't know which few those are. They actually kept their roles relatively concealed. So the idea of new movies could be a good thing. With that said, though, a Joker story, I'm not feeling it. It just doesn't strike me as something that I want to see.
Unless they want to do like the origin story as in like, we get a cut to Batman throwing the Red Hood into the vat of chemicals. A cut, another cut to him, coming out of, surgery or whatever, and him having the green hair and white skin, and we don't really get anything prior to that. And it's just the origin of how he sets up his gang and how he becomes the greatest criminal mastermind that Gotham's ever seen.
Okay, that actually
Not the only one
could
that's
be a good
robot.
movie. I heard Igor.
Yeah, I mean, that could work. I wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
But there again, I'm willing to give DC a second go because I know that they've recognized there's a problem. They haven't apologized for the movies, as far as I can tell. They just sort of made a bunch of...
You don't have to apologize for a movie being shitty.
Well,
No, you move on and you create something new, but the thing is they haven't shown that they really want to make anything new. If anything, they kind of, the stuff they kind of wanted to double down on.
Well, Joe Schumacher apologized for his Batman movies, and as a result, he hasn't been lambasted by the fans.
Well, he had to apologize. He put nips on Batman and Robin's suits.
Yeah, and he apologized for those movies years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, but he did do it. He did acknowledge the fans.
He made a half-assed apology. He said something along the lines of, "I wasn't the guy who made the choice. It wasn't me that did it, but, I'm sorry."
Yeah, I know, but it's a half-assed apology, but it was still a apology, and it's something. It's best. It's better than what we've been getting from Lucasfilm and the whole Star Wars debacle.
Wait. Okay, so everybody knows that Joel Schumacher legitimately looks like he probably does a few too many psychedelic drugs. I think maybe the reason he apologized is because he stopped doing those drugs, rewatched both movies, called up the press, and was just like,
I'd like to issue an apology. I was under some heavy influence of shrooms. I honestly thought God was talking to me through Batman's nipple armor.
I don't know why I did what I did. I know I was on a lot of fucked up drugs, and I just rewatched those movies because I keep getting all this hate mail I now understand. I will never do something like this again. 2 weeks later, he starts doing it again.
Well, to be fair, I mean, in the An Evening with Kevin Smith, he did talk about some of the crazy ass people working at Warner Brothers, and and it's quite possible a lot of them were under the influence of many narcotics and stuff like.
To become a producer in Hollywood isn't as hard as people think. To become a producer just means one thing and one thing only. You have lots of money at your disposal. Whether yours or someone else's, you have a lot of money. The guy who eventually ended up being the producer for Wild Wild West, with the giant spider crab monster machine. Always wanted to see a movie with a giant spider in it. That's also why Big Eight-Legged Freaks is a movie. He used to be the hairstylist for some other bigwig in Hollywood, and through that, got his foot in the door into a company that decided he somehow made, by being a hairstylist, somehow had the knowledge and foresight to be a producer.
Yeah, well, and rumor has it that that hairstylist, who also likes to hit the gym, by the way, he's fairly swole, but rumor is that he went to the same gym as what's his name, the guy who did 300 and Watchmen, the guy who's that guy. The rumor is that they went to the same gym, and that's how he got the job directing all these various different superhero movies and Superman and all that. So, I mean, it like they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that's a very depressing.
So it's true in any industry. I mean, hell, even in the 3D industry for my field, most of my jobs have come through knowing someone in the industry. So, I mean, that's true for any field, really.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean, you really need to be friendly with people, and because you're going to be working with them, so you want to make a good impression. And and that's true enough. There again, it's also unfortunate that people are getting in not based on merit, but by, social skills. However, I guess there needs to be some merit involved. Otherwise, why would you get the job?
Yeah, I mean, a kind word will only get you so far. You still have to deliver the goods.
So are you guys telling me that if I suddenly decide to legitimately identify as a woman, that I can get into Marvel and DC and save the fucking company?
No,
I don't even know if you have to legitimately do it. You just got to be convincing enough.
I do say, if you were to go this route, you have to sell it. You have to get one of those old-fashioned style mops with the yarn base, chop off the wood and put that on top of your head as a wig, and then really sell the "I'm a lady," be as blatantly offensive as possible.
Just dress up as fat Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, basically.
I'm a lady.
Look, guys, you're making this too complicated. You gotta be classy about this whole thing. You just have to be good at sucking the right dick.
Oh, Brockus apparently knows his way around a... Oh, wait, no, that was dog shit, not a penis. Never mind.
I hate you so much. I knew that was coming, and I fucking did nothing. I said nothing to stop it!
Yeah, fair enough.
You couldn't have stopped it, Brockus.
I don't have to have sex with Zoe Quinn. That's Vertigo, and that's DC. She has nothing to do with Marvel. Don't you fucking try to tell me shit, rotten piece. You fucking troll.
Isn't sex with Zoe Quinn considered a war crime at this point?
Yes.
Colluding with the enemy, I guess. I don't know. Oh, it's creepy to know these people are writing comics and developing stuff. But luckily, I mean, no one's going to buy them, so it's not a big deal.
That's not the problem, Semaj. We've obviously seen, even if people stop going to the movies, even if people stop reading the comic books or stop downloading the comic books, all that stuff, even if that happens, they're still going to keep pushing the product. Why? Because they believe that we are wrong for rejecting their crapfest of a fucking story. They believe we are the wrong ones, not them. Even though they clearly have no idea what the fuck they're doing anymore, they're still the ones on the right side of history.
Man, you're only on the right side of history if you win.
Well, you could say that they are winning because they're getting into.
They are winning. They have not won.
Well, they're getting.
You can't determine who was the right side until you know who the winner is.
Fair enough. I mean, they are currently winning. I was actually just watching the High Council, the other stream going on, and Ethan Van Sciver was on there, and he made an interesting point. He said that the reason why, because these SJW people who are making all these various different products, because they were just talking about She-Ra, they're not in here to make money, because you know these things don't sell.
Right.
They're doing this to make a point, and the point is that they can take control over anything they bloody well want, and that's exactly what they did. On top of all that, the pictures of She-Ra that came out there, that was a trap.
Oh God, that's a young man with long, flowing Nordic hair.
Here's the art. Well, okay, well here's what I mean by trap. It's a trap because when you think She-Ra, you think powerful woman. Yeah. She was actually the pictures that we see her that have a child. All right, that's why she's flat chested.
Well, she's supposed to be like 13 or 14. She's got a lesbian girlfriend as part of the plot.
Well, see, there you go. That could be the other thing. But they're saying, the creators and all are saying, she's a child. You're trying to sexualize a child, and that's what I'm saying. This is a trap because they're trying to make us all out to be a bunch of pedophiles.
And yet they want to put her in a lesbian relationship.
Exactly.
As part of the plot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that fucking doesn't speak volumes about them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and fucking just burn all these other bastards at the stake, because how dare you try to sexualize a child? You're putting a child in a gay relationship. You yourself are sexualizing her on a fucking another level. You goddamn hypocrites.
I don't know, man. Does the same apply to putting a kid in any relationship?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Remember, they're trying to sell this as a kids show now. They're not trying to sell it as a tween show where, you can address maybe some more adult themes. Not adult, but like actual. They're trying to sell it as this is just for kids.
It depends who they're aiming it at, right? If they're aiming it at fucking like 12, 13-year-olds,
right?
Those kids are having little fucking boyfriends and girlfriends, right?
Right. You can address some of the base level stuff. Yeah, right.
If they're pointing at like 5, 6-year-olds, yeah, I guess that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing to keep in mind is that He-Man and She-Ra, these are very old shows. All right, and this reboot, it's not really a reboot for like the young kids because they don't know what this stuff is. As far as they're concerned, this is new. The only people it's going to piss off are the people who grew up with this, or at least had some encounters with it. So, I mean, obviously, you're picking a fight with those people. And let's be honest here, it's not some innocent show. They are picking a fight with the fandom. And it's been around for quite a while. The same way with the new G.I. Joe shit that's been going on with the IDW comics and making it part of the UN and some other nonsense. They're trying to pick a fight. That's exactly what they're doing. And of course, we're responding, but let's be honest here. I mean, if you're going to take something that people love and cherish, and you're just going to shit over it with this reboot and all that, yeah, okay, I see that. Also, I watched a couple episodes the classic She-Ra stuff. She had like a kind of boyfriend kind of guy, and because it was a girl's toy thing, the boyfriend had like this giant heart on his chest, but that was part of his fashion. I saw screenshots, and they brought him back. He's black now.
Oh God!
So they changed the ethnicity of the original love interest.
Of course they did.
I thought, well, okay, all right, I see what you're going here.
Which does this bring up another problem then for the show? Because if the original love interest now has been swapped to an African American, whatever. Does this now bring up the problem of, well, they have in a relationship with a furry cat girl looking thing, but is it going to be a problem because she's not in the relationship with the black man and that whole racial sensitivity thing?
Well, who knows? It could be. I was for the longest time there. I was thinking that I was for sure that what they're going with is that this is going to be a trans thing, and that She-Ra is actually a boy, but becomes She-Ra when she becomes the superhero form. It's actually She-Ra, where he can be himself.
Raw.
Man, it's just a fucking metaphor for the fucking transition. He goes to do the fucking. I haven't actually watched She-Ra. Does she transform like He-Man does?
Kinda. Even when she's in her normal form, she looked much closer to her, powered up form than He-Man did when he went from one to the other. She was already. I mean, not that he wasn't that toned to begin with, but the difference was less so with her. Her outfit was really the biggest change for her.
No, I mean in terms of like how the transformation happens.
Yeah, she by the honor of Grayskull, and then she has her own transformation with lightning and shit.
Well, it's more like a fluttering sparkle that go around. It's more like Sailor Moon than anything else. But also, I remember the toy line for the She-Ra stuff, because they were marketing that for girls. That way, like the girls can have She-Ra and the men can have, or the boys can have He-Man and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it actually worked. It worked really well.
Yes, because you know what? Sometimes little girls like to play with things that are marketed to little girls, and sometimes little boys like to play with things that are marketed to little boys, and sometimes those marketing decisions are based on what those children have already shown that they like.
Yep. Well, and the nice thing about those toys from that era was they designed them in a way so if you were a boy that was a fan of He-Man, but you also liked the toys, you could get just about all of the toys for the girls line, and they would have been fine with, they didn't necessarily come across entirely as being girlish because they were made by the same company and had a lot of this, being He-Man and She-Ra had a lot of the same visual aesthetic. They worked pretty well as a set as well. So I think there was a certain idea behind the marketing this was designed for like brothers and sisters to try and get them to have a similar interest that they can then sap your parents' wallets for.
Well, and not just that. I mean, when you take kids and you have like a birthday party and kids will interact with different genders and whatnot, it gives them something to relate over. It's very, like, the marketing for the original toy line was so bloody good. Granted, they had a problem. They made too many toys. And by that, I mean, like, they made toys of so many other characters that barely showed up in the show. Like, I think there was, like one episode that had, like, 3 separate characters, and then they never showed it up ever again. And they made too many of those toys.
Oh, yeah. Well, part of the thing was the cartoon they would have an episode or two with a character, and that was done purely for the toy line. And yes.
A man who wears heavy makeup on a regular basis is asking why you have cat ears, you fucking weirdo.
Man who wears eyeliner. Here's my answer. My old Xbox headphones died. Ren broke these originally. I fixed them. And she had already ordered a whole new pair at that point, so fuck it, I guess they're mine now.
Why didn't you just fix yours, you fucking weirdo?
My Xbox one, the cord was shot, and there wasn't much I could do for that.
I love how Magog loves to throw shade at people for random shit. Like, he calls me a nerd, yet he's just as nerdy as I am.
He lives in a world of D&D, and he's
he is more nerdy than you, Brockus. When was the last time you actually dressed up as a wizard?
Yesterday.
Brockus.
Oh, shit.
Side quest was on! I can't help it!
Magog, I won't live out your personal sexual fetishes on stream.
Magog says you should have just meowed and then come on the screen. Oh, God. Magog, no. Why would you do this?
He's letting us in on knowing what his kinks are. Hey, I hear Chatterbait's good for that stuff.
Can be. Sometimes they are deceptive. I'm speaking from experience, yes.
So you've experienced the trap card play.
Brockus, send the nice necrophiliac a link.
I am
necromancer. Oh,
Oh,
pretty sure he doesn't fuck the corpses.
Except when he's really lonely.
I don't know what they do down in, where's he from? Kentucky? Tennessee? Somewhere south.
Arkansas.
All the same shit to me.
You know
Well,
what?
if he's a necromancer, he may have undead gator loving sessions. If he's in Arkansas.
That's racist to people of Arkansas. Thank you very much.
Oh my god, you're gonna trigger the fucking wizard. Don't do that. He's gonna come in here and start threatening everybody with ass rape.
What's the issue?
What? No, don't worry about it.
He said the word. You're not supposed to say that word.
Arkansas?
Oh, you said it again. Don't do that.
Hey, I didn't say it that time.
Episode of it's like a bad episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse. He said the magic word.
Ah!
Which would be right up Magog's alley because he wanted someone stroking it on camera.
It's actually fun too because bringing Magog on is going to give us a little more perspective on DC, just because he's actually a bigger DC fan than I am, or I think even. Wait, Igor, I don't think I've ever actually gotten your specifics on whether you prefer Marvel or DC.
When I was collecting comics, I was a bigger DC fan. I was never much into the Marvel comics themselves.
Oh, fair enough.
Man, see, I told you, Brockus. Everybody's on the wrong side of history.
I wouldn't say everybody. I just pointed out that Magog is a DC fan, and Igor just admitted he.
I already knew that he was a heathen.
Oh.
Yeah, and again, that was back when I was collecting comics, so you're talking when I was very young. And I pretty much gave up on DC
Igor
when they
hasn't
brought
collected
Superman
since,
back.
Igor hasn't collected since
War of the
Jack
Superman.
Kirby was still alive.
Yeah, the last time I bought a comic was the final issues of War of the Superman when they brought Superman back, and I went, and I'm done.
Yeah, that was a pretty silly storyline. Also, there was that Death of Superman movie that came out not too long ago.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to say too much about that, but I gotta say, very disappointing movie.
I agree, Semaj. I 100% agree with you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! You beat me to it.
He knew you were gonna try. But no, I completely agree with you, Semaj. When you pointed out the how the fight scene in the air, it took you completely out of the movie. I was watching and I was just like, oh, I know exactly what he means now. I just experienced that too. Fuck!
To be fair, you all have misrepresented me. I am not a fan of either anymore. I watched Justice League, and I think I would much rather have a barbarian spread my ass cheeks and punch me right in the butthole.
It would have been a far more enjoyable process than watching that movie.
I think we need to get Barbarian on now because of the implications of this. Oh.
Oh, yeah. No one liked that Justice League movie. It was
God.
bad.
I got it to watch it for free, and I still wanted my time back.
There was an upside to watching Justice League. I now have aspirations to move to Hollywood and become a movie producer because I can shit on celluloid with the best of them.
Hey, you smear it across the celluloid, you're officially one step up.
Wait, they don't even use celluloid anymore, do they?
I know. No, they don't. It's all digital.
It's all digital. That was a bad joke because it's the old
You
format.
can shit in the producer's room. There you go.
Yep. I mean that is a terrible situation. It's a worse situation than a Weinstein casting couch.
Well, at least, and for all his faults, he can at least say everyone I touched has become a star.
Usually we refer to people like Weinstein as like, the dick of death. Like every time he fucks somebody, something horrible happens to them. But I guess he has the Midas cock.
Yeah, his dick gave them careers.
Just kept pushing talent after talent, and we ended up getting a lot of fucking pretty good stuff. Sort of, kinda. They are traumatized now, and I do not envy these women at all.
It wasn't only women sitting on the casting couch.
I have a feeling you are speaking from experience.
Some tells me he's actually going to enjoy dropping the soap.
Probably.
Oh no, I dropped my bar of soap. How clumsy of me.
I don't know. You probably get more of that from the Bryan Singers out there.
I would assume Michael Bay, but sure, Bryan Singer too.
Is Michael Bay gay?
I don't know if Michael Bay is
Come
gay or
on,
not.
you clearly. I don't know for sure, but like 90%, yeah, Michael Bay's gay.
I mean, he did put some giant balls on that Destructicon in whichever one of those Transformers movies it was.
And every fucking Michael Bay movie is a massive porn explosion fucking thing going on, which is kind of weird.
The fucking explosions are him trying to overcompensate.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he might be just trying to hide the fact that he loves the cock, so he's trying to give us as manly of a fucking project as possible to get us off the fucking trail. But
I'll have you know, the biggest pyromaniac I know was the hugest homo I know.
It wouldn't matter if he was a movie maker or not. You could tell just by his name that he is gay. It's obvious that his gaping butthole is as wide as a bay.
Well, his ego is certainly as large as one.
We'll see. I'm actually looking forward to this next Transformers movie, Bumblebee, just because it's not Michael Bay working on it. And
doesn't matter. They've really worn out their welcome.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, that, and they actually, from what I can see from the trailer, they transform like the actual toys. I'm like, oh, what a novel concept. Transform like your product. That's instead of making it look like they're going through a blender.
My favorite interview with Michael Bay when he first got the Transformers license. This was like ages and ages ago, right? Before he had even started actual shooting on the first film. That someone had asked him from I can't even remember what channel it was. Like, so what do you like? So what do you like about Transformers? He's like, oh, I hate the Transformers. What? Like, and that was his answer. I'm like, and you're the guy and you're the guy that's going to be making the movie. This is going to go well.
I'm going to be honest. I think that's a common fucking thing when it comes to movies. They can't stand the fucking source material, and that's why they don't fucking stick to it.
Yep. Paul Feige is a perfect example of that.
God, Ghostbusters. Ugh.
Oh,
that's why I always look forward to just like Netflix, like that. At least, like they may fall under some of the SJW crap, but they're still doing good content.
Yeah,
like I am excited for Mega City 1.
Yes,
Netflix original show, and they are in talks with Carl Urban to play Dredd.
Yes, it won't be complete without Carl Urban though.
That reminds me. Speaking of Netflix. Should I bother watching Luke Cage?
No.
it's boring as fuck.
Like every episode had like a 5-minute music video in it.
What?
Like
That's
they really wanted to
thing for a
promote like
superhero movie.
they wanted to promote like black artists. So every time there was a scene in the club, they would literally just stick the camera on the guy on stage for 5 minutes. Like no talking or anything. They would literally do like an entire song.
Jesus. What a waste of money when you consider how expensive that show must have been to produce.
It wasn't that expensive. I mean, they just filmed in a location, and they just had a lot of people standing around and talking.
To pay people their salaries.
Oh, yeah.
Still gotta pay them.
Look, from what I've known, I mean, they will cut corners wherever convenient, or they'll just stand there and just film something quickly. Like Iron Fist, which was an abomination of a show. There was a scene where they had like these two characters having a conversation. It was almost like a romance scene, and the lighting was terrible. I think there was one lamp, and it was behind the camera, and they filmed it on these two people, and they were talking for almost 5 minutes, and you could barely see them. I'm like, is this supposed to be romantic? It's not. I could barely see them. And it's the kind of scene. It's like an important conversation. They didn't think, hey, let's bring a couple more lights in here, or let's open a window. Something.
I think the Netflix series for the Marvel TV shows is kind of where they're beta testing directors.
Well,
because an experienced director would have been like, no, lighting guy, you're fired. All right. Who's his apprentice? Can you do better? And tell me what's wrong with this shot?
Well, yeah, there was a lot wrong, like with Iron Fist in particular, because it's a show about martial arts, and there's next to no martial arts, and the most
interesting characters are ones that aren't the main characters.
Yeah, apparently, you would think with something like Iron Fist, they spend a little bit more time, in the gym working on moves. Like, how hard would it be? Because they had another show out there called The Badlands. Amazing fight scenes in that show, and the most they paid for was like on the costumes and stuff they did for that. They could have done something like that, and some other show made it work. Iron Fist, a Marvel property, you can't do that. Seriously?
I actually knew it was going to be a giant crap fest from the very first episode. That opening scene in the lobby when Iron Fist, a martial arts master, is doing some of the most shit choreography fighting I have ever seen, to which at one point he legitimately just pushes a secret fucking private security guy onto a desk, or no, a bench, and he's unconscious. He didn't hit him. He didn't kick him. He didn't strike him in the throat or do some kind of chokehold or anything like that. No. He just kind of turned him around, pushed him onto a bench, and the dude just laid there unconscious. And as I watched this happen, I'm like, I am in for a long, annoying, pissed off ride.
Did anyone else kind of wish with Iron Fist, like if they knew it wasn't going to be like super good, if they had just gone for like a bad 60s, 70s martial arts redub from from Japan or China style, where like even the dialogue isn't quite in sync with the lips, and all the martial arts moves are really floaty, and like people are flying through the air, when they get whiffed with a punch. Yeah. Just embrace the cheese at that point.
Yeah, I would have appreciated they just embraced it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm bored. So you guys can talk to my representative of your world, because I'm out. You're gay, all of you.
For fuck's sake, I hate the human guy.
You can fuck right off, whatever your name is.
Oh fuck, man! Now he's treating me like I'm some type of fucking Zell.
Well,
the fuck.
He's off to go and meet his agent in Hollywood, where he'll learn how to be a barista.
What the fuck is a Zell?
Not a clue.
Yep,
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Random rude word I made up, I guess.
Yep, it's just you just. Yep, if you didn't pull insults out of your ass, you'd pull something else out.
Oh shit! It's the tooth floss I ate the other day.
That was a really complicated dick in the ass joke.
Oh, got it.
I was calling you a butt munching gaydard.
Oh fuck!
Well, that was mean.
Well,
I'm happy.
You know what? You invite me on this show, whoever you are, and then you insult my homeland.
I didn't insult your homeland. I insulted your homie, your human homie.
You insulted my homeland. It is going to be the seat of power when I conquer your world.
Well, you should keep that in mind there, Schmeckel. You should.
Yeah, I will take care to respect my future wizard overlords.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to conquer the world, and you'll still have a high position in my court. But every now and again, I'm going to have Poe drop a bone turd in your top hat.
Man, if it's a bone turd, what the fuck do I care?
It's just a bone.
Shit's fossilized. Won't even stain.
I'll just say that I was nothing but respectful to Arkansas. and I think that it's a wonderful place.
You called it Arkansas earlier.
What the fuck is
I did no
Arkansas?
such thing.
Thank you, other monkey.
Thank you. Yes,
I just want to see a bit where Magog's working as a barista at Starbucks when he realizes his Hollywood career hasn't come to fruition and has to go back to conquering the world through necromancy.
Okay, listen, Fritz the cat.
Hey, Fritz the cat had a fucking magic bag that can trump any bullshit necromancy.
I will
Okay,
never-
so lesser Fritz the cat.
So I will never be able to do that skit because one, they don't allow necromancers in Starbucks, and two,
Because of that incident.
I plan on destroying all Starbucks.
Maybe it's less discriminatory than I thought.
I don't even know where you get the name Star. Like, what the fuck does Starbucks have to do with coffee?
They probably were really, really high when they were watching a Battlestar Galactica rerun and went, hey, that'd be a great coffee house name.
I also
Also,
want to
what's up
know
with that
how the
logo?
mermaid is doing what it's doing.
Yeah, the split tail, or if even that. Like, what's up with that logo? What is that?
It's a fucking mermaid.
Yeah,
Don't fucking ask me. I always just assumed they murdered a mermaid with a hatchet and then posed her for the original shot.
Either that or they're watching
know
way
good
too
well.
much fucking anime.
You know good and well when a company uses a logo and a name like that and still becomes popular, they sold their souls to Satan.
Accurate.
And wouldn't they be one of your allies on Earth?
Are you saying you would not sell your soul to Satan for
Fame and
large
fortune?
amounts of money? I don't even need the fame.
I would give him someone's soul.
Shit. Yeah. Can anyone hook me up with Satan? I'm pretty sure Brockus don't need a soul no more.
I don't think I have one.
I did a stint doing a movie and working on a failed TV show, so I had my run-ins with demons enough.
Wait. You worked on a failed TV show?
Yeah, I worked on a TV show that never got past the pilot. We got through.
As what? What'd you do?
I was just doing the 3D modeling and stuff, and getting real friendly with the lead actress / gymnast.
Man, your fucking wife watches this show, man.
She is well aware.
Listen.
Oh, you got one of those relationships.
Just because you went off to Hollywood and ended up being the center attraction at a Mandingo party doesn't mean you were in production work.
Oh,
Okay?
no, I did the 3D modeling side of things, and then the movie I worked on that actually made it to theater.
You're not even going to address the whole black dicks in your ass thing, are you?
No, because not my thing, man.
You know what? You can't even roll. With
Wait, what?
I'm going to go back to insulting
Don't like Mr.
Brockus.
Black? What's the issue?
No, I'm just not a big fan of orgies, man.
Okay, I thought maybe it was the whole dicks in the ass thing.
Also, I'm pretty sure I'm actually a homunculus without the realization that I was a homunculus, so I don't have
You're
a soul.
too big to be a homunculus.
Are you retarded? Do you even know what a homunculus is?
I have
think he
no
thinks
idea
you're
what a
a
homunculus
monkey.
is.
You're a fucking idiot.
Schmeckel probably thinks you're talking about a small species of capuchin.
I love how Brockus uses large words to distract from the fact that he licks very many penis-shaped objects.
Magog, ask him about the poo story. He'll tell you.
I don't want to know.
Oh, you want to know, Magog?
I don't want to know what you
want to
did
know.
with Winnie the Pooh.
You want to know?
know?
No, poop with
That
a
is
G.
a child. That is a
Shit.
child. That is
Fecal
a
matter.
sacred childhood memory of somebody, not me. But still,
Like, no matter how many times.
let me guess. Wait, let me just guess. He ate poop.
Yes, he did do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Bonus points if you can guess what kind of poop and why.
Was it dog shit, and was he paid for it?
God damn it! You've already seen the.
He was present in the chat when it went down, you fucking idiot! God damn it, you don't even know who's in your audience!
Brockus, it don't matter. I still got the fucking story told.
Yeah, I don't care. Anyways, as you were saying, Magog, you were pointing out that I am using big words to hide the fact that I suck lots of dick.
No, I said you lick penis-shaped objects. That's a wholly different insult.
Damn it, yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting a bunch of guys to let you suck the dicks. You're just like a dildo.
Yeah, you can't even convince men.
Yeah, you can't convince a guy to get his dick sucked, Brockus.
Yeah, you're
I can dream.
that
Okay.
pathetic. That you.
He's just going to the wrong bars, is all.
He went to a glory hole at a truck stop, and the truck stop ran away.
just one fucking bathroom stall in the middle of the road. No more shop. It's all gone.
They saw me go into the stall, and every single gay trucker there just went, you know what? I don't need this. That's fine. I'm not doing it anymore.
Like, seriously, the Pilot gas station just up and moved. You walked out, and you were like, where's the pumps? Where's the employee? I don't get it.
I still have to pay for these. I still have to pay for this Snickers bar.
I was in the stall, and nothing popped into the hole. I come outside. Everything is gone except the stall I was in.
And the toilet I was sitting on that you turned back, even that's gone now.
Everybody shut the fuck up for a moment. We got a longtime patron of ours who is at the tier that he's allowed into a stream a month. Usually I actually set up a specific patron stream. But I say usually, but usually I would if I remembered. But I decided to invite him into this one since he was in the chat and he was DMing me. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing all right. Trying to get this fucking hangout to work. I'm finally here.
Hey, Billy, I'm making Brockus famous in Moscow.
What, you're gonna rape him in town square? You're gonna rub him down with
every latrine, aka privy, that I go into, I write on the wall, if you're looking for a good time, do not call Brockus.
Ooh.
And you know what? They never do.
And they never call him. Isn't that interesting?
I have a scrying orb, and it has absolutely no messages. I am sad.
Don't worry, Brockus. I feel your pain.
Shut up, guy who relocates gas stations.
I mean, sometimes it's a good thing. That was turning into a cesspool, and now it's clean.
Except for the subway, it didn't move. There's always a subway in Pilot gas stations, and fuck those retards, they can stick around.
Oh my god, I hate those people so much.
You go to most of those places.
They can't even put the fucking sandwich together right. They're fucking...
The Subway sandwiches at a Pilot aren't even... the Subways at a Pilot station barely qualify as a Subway restaurant. They can't even manage their own basic level of fast food.
Hey, you want to know something ridiculous? At least around where I live, the best Subways are in gas stations.
No.
That is a sad, sad land that I am glad I don't live in.
I don't trust... I literally do not trust a
garbage.
I don't trust a restaurant that's called Subway, and you can't find them in Subways.
Yeah, man, it's always Mr. Sub down there, ain't it?
Yep, I don't know why. They just totally lost out on that glorious fucking marketing gimmick.
I think it's because of the name that they were officially, like, as soon as the company came out, we are Subway sandwiches.
Oh, wait,
You're never allowed down here.
No, you know what? They had the whole Jared thing. There's probably a reason that a lot of places don't want them.
They knew what he was doing, and they were
I unfortunately worked at a Subway at one point in my life.
Yes, that was an unfortunate situation.
Well, to be quite honest, working at a Subway, it is not surprising that half the time when you go in there, they look dead inside, because working at a Subway, you are fucking dead inside.
Oh, God. I used to be an assistant manager at a Quiznos. Yeah, I was dead inside once Christmas came around. Because we started the 12-track Christmas music in before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I would
in a loop.
I would die inside if I worked for a company whose company logo after Jared was "We run trains on boys."
Ow. So Michael Jackson was the spokesperson.
Oh, fuck off with that shit! You know good and well he didn't touch the little boys.
Hung out with them a little too much.
Yep, I'm sorry. Razor Fist summed it up pretty well. That was all nothing but a bunch of fucking let's get Michael's money bullshit. Like seriously, he had pussy raining from the sky. Like I don't buy it one bit. Sorry.
He fucked Elvis's daughter for like 7 years, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You don't bang that hot legacy without fucking, obviously not having any fucking inkling towards other shit.
So do you think when he was banging Elvis's daughter, he showed her legacy, her father's legacy's ownership, since he owned the rights to most of his music at one point?
Seriously, I just don't believe the father who accused Michael Jackson of that, because he was like, that little boy took my son's innocence, and they were like $10 million, and he was like, he's got a brother.
I just make the jokes. I just make jokes. I wasn't saying that he did diddle the boy. I was just making a low tier joke. I'll admit it. I do a lot of those.
You should have went the Catholic priest route, and I wouldn't have argued with you.
Bless you, my son. Let me part your hair a little bit more.
Like, you imagine walking into a Subway and there's a guy with a collar, and he's like, "What would you like on your sandwich? And would you like to go into confession?"
After what you
Man,
did,
if the man handed me a free sub, I would go to confession with him.
I would immediately question everything about that place.
Why do I have to confess for buying a sub? What did you put in here?
Wouldn't
Would you like
to know?
Goddamn well what's in there.
What kind of bread would you like, my son? Also, would you like to confess after ordering?
Also, does this napkin smell like chloroform?
Let me breathe a little bit deeper. I have built up a tolerance over the years.
Come on, Pookie! We're gonna burn this motherfucker to the ground.
Would you like a free complimentary glass of wine with this sandwich? Just saying. Don't look into it. Don't ask for it to be shaken or anything like that. Just accept it as it is.
Well, why does the Catholic priest have to be Irish?
Because that's the joke.
Father McFeely.
Catholic priests didn't touch little boys. They were too drunk. It was the Italians.
Oh, yeah, because the Italians weren't too drunk.
I don't know if you guys ever been to Italy, but Jesus Christ, he's big there.
Yes, I have.
That motherfucker's on billboards selling coke.
Oh, yeah. Buy Coca-Cola. Jesus likes the Coca-Cola.
Your soul can be saved for 59 cents.
I also made the mistake in Italy of having espresso and thinking it was the same as American espresso.
All you said about the billboards, all I could think is Jesus saves every day at Walmart at low price.
Jesus saves on natural 20s.
Welcome to Costco. God bless you.
Get the fuck out.
See, I've eaten that twice at this place called Burger Priest, and it's not bad. Super greasy. You'll definitely see God sooner than you want to if you eat there all the time. But I was disappointed in that they didn't go to the obvious thing of, like, instead of giving you like a fortune cookie at the end of your meal, they should just give you a little package, and inside there is a little cracker saying, like, like the body of Christ.
When I came
communion
to your
wafers
world,
with your burger.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome.
When I came to your world and visited Vidconia, I had this Chinese food, and I ate it. And it was rather delicious, I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. And then I opened up the fortune cookie, and inside it said that wasn't chicken.
Oh. Oh, so you got barbecue fried doggy. Barbecue fried doggy?
That's why you're not supposed to eat the fucking Chinese food, you damn sinner. You just ate somebody's cat or dog.
We're entirely off topic, Brockus. I gotta ask, are the whatever they're called now, the former villains still going?
I fucking know, dude. I stopped paying attention.
I think he tapped out of that a while ago.
Yeah. We're talking about other stuff here, man.
Well, no, I'm just curious because I'd like to try and get Lo-Fi on.
Okay, hold on a minute.
All right,
Hey,
prostate.
I made it. What's up, everybody?
How's it going? All right.
Yeah, they're
Nothing
still
much.
going.
Relaxing.
I'm happier than Jim Neighbors with a wheelbarrow full of buttholes.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I have no retort.
Passed away.
Better be a lot
that
of
sounds
lube.
more like an issue than a good thing. Like that sounds like something I'd say like when I have to finish filling out all this paperwork for college here.
I thought it was clever. What can I say?
I'm sorry, Irate.
Epic fail.
That's not a side effect. That's an effect.
How's everybody doing, man?
Oh, just chill it out.
Getting drunk.
I'm excessively drunk at this point.
Making my way downtown.
I'm staring at pages and pages of college paperwork to fill out. That's entertaining.
Man, Igor, for $50, I'll do your homework for you.
You're gonna fail.
I'm not guaranteeing you'll get passing grade.
I want to get in. I actually want to get into this place. So yeah, I'll do what.
Okay. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have me do it.
Yeah. And besides, the admissions fee is only $25. You're like charging double to fail.
Get it, juice. My money, and my money, and my mind.
I like it.
See, I told you, Arkansas, fucking Magog's rap name.
You're gonna get your ass beat one day.
Okay, man.
I'm gonna laugh.
I'll pop the cap in my
That
ass.
sounds like a
They
very
play in
good.
the
He's already
SEC.
getting into the role.
Real football is played in the SEC, right?
What?
Magog, Arkansas, the college football, SEC.
You
Razorbacks are
really,
doing good this year.
you really want to talk football with me?
I think you're speaking like Sanskrit to him right now.
Oh,
No, I know exactly what he's talking about, but I don't want to get into it.
No, I was just making a joke about, if you understand that, then
Yes. So how is that local?
Woo,
sports
Big
ball
Suey.
team?
that's right. That's right, man. I'm one of them roll tiders. So,
Oh, God damn it.
yeah, I know.
I'd like to point out to everybody that tonight I am not the Cunstream account that keeps dropping in and out.
Who
This time it's not me.
Does anybody actually miss you anyway?
No, usually nobody notices.
Like seriously. I'm asking.
everything
Thing about you is the top hat.
everything is going horribly wrong on my end. I don't know what it is. My connection, my
It's
computer
just the usual state of your life,
decided to
man.
give.
You got out of the thing with all your friends and all that. That situation subsided. Now you need something shitty in your life, so it's gonna be your
You
internet.
need to close all the ChatterBait windows now. Close them.
I
You're
don't
on-
go on porn sites on the fucking desktop because it has.
The watch link right now, and it's just buffering.
Yeah, as I say, it's buffer.
Oh, life in general.
It did that the other night. Then it was fixed within a couple minutes.
It's probably just like, the stuff going on with the sun. That's why it's so fucking hot. Cosmic rays,
For
It's
a
good
low-
for Superman.
Either
not
that
for
or
us.
Google can't figure this shit out.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's always a factor.
I mean,
Semaj.
that's a basically constant factor when it comes to this type of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Is this like the first time we've ever? Maybe we streamed like way back and a while back together.
Dude, we've been on so many streams I've forgotten about.
I know, dude. I'm with you.
You just sort of disappeared for a while. I don't know why. That's your fault, as far as I'm concerned.
I've been around, man. I just, just floating in the ether.
I think I randomly popped onto one of Whitey's streams, and then you came on, and we were talking about model buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Okay. Oh, yes. I happily remember that.
Yeah. That was probably a different type of nerd stuff. It's like, buying stuff and making model cars and whatnot. What?
I was going to say, go ahead.
I would gladly go out there and buy, because I've always wanted to make a model of the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters. So I'm like, that would take a while. I wonder if I can stream this. And then Whitey was talking about doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, dude, let's do that. Let's do some fucking super nerdy model car building shit. No one will watch it, but it'll be fun.
That's what it's about, man.
What is it? I bought like a while back. What was it? Because I looked at what you were talking about, the Ecto 1 model, because I actually do build models. There is a lot of parts to that, and that would actually be a cool stream to watch, at least for me, since I like building models.
Well, the thing is, it's from Japan, so you have to rely on the pictures on what you're going on, and I usually just make either like Gundam figures or use the weapon parts. I don't usually make cars, so this will be my first car if I was to make that.
I hate everything you stand for.
What?
Who is Billy?
That'd be me.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you have a Billy rest of your name or?
Billy Senpai.
Oh, okay, Billy Senpai. It's nice to meet.
There's a long bullshit thing behind the senpai thing. One of my friends gave me that nickname because he started working at the same job as me, and no one would teach him shit. And he's a massive weeaboo, so he gave me that nickname because I was the only one that would teach him.
Oh, for
Gotcha.
Christ's sake.
I hate everything you stand for.
Thank you. I feel loved.
We got the.
I hate everything you
YouTuber
stand
in the
for.
Chat. He noticed that you mentioned
It
him.
just
Semaj.
makes me stronger.
Look, Magog, let's be honest. You've done a little bit of modeling yourself. It's just a different kind, like necromancy and little birds and putting people together.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm talking about your sidekick, the one you call Poe.
Yeah,
I'm-
he already came put together, okay?
Oh shit! All right. Yeah.
Blood and skull.
Yeah, Semaj, you can buy that at the bookstore.
Exactly. Wait, no? It's your Dead Raven from
I've seen fucking
Got
Poe in
him.
the bookstore.
I mean, cool magic shit. Yes, that's it. Brockus has its magic. Dead Raven from Moscow, not at all for sale in your world anywhere on Amazon for $12.95.
The Raven is a lie. That means everything else is too.
Never
Oh
know.
no! You know what? No, Billy, do not let your fucking illusion be shattered. Magog is actually a wizard of a sort, kind of more of a fairy, pixie, something like that. But he's definitely a little magical.
He can't hear you.
Oh,
See?
Poe showed up. Yay, Poe.
When
Poe!
Magog is away, Poe comes out to play.
Oh,
Oh, and Magog's butt plug showed up.
Never gotten to actually speak to Poe directly. Poe, you're an asshole. I love you. Don't ever stop being.
Poe, you're the shittiest part of Magog's channel.
You're the best
I wish
part.
he'd replace you with like a skeleton dog or cat or some shit.
Yes,
Fuck
yes,
you.
yes. All I hear is on my best day, I'm better than you.
That's actually...
Ow.
Smacker, look at the group chat, please.
Look at Schmeckle, you don't even try to animate your gorilla smoking a cigar. So I don't want to hear shit.
That's Semaj's fault. He
You
just
have
got
no
shit.
production value whatsoever, and you should be ashamed of your butthole being worn out like it is.
My butthole is not worn out. That's actually my butthole's probably worn out. I ain't
No,
taken
no, no.
solid shit in years.
No.
Oh, one second. I got to address irate prostates thing. Yes, Gutenberg is always welcome here.
All
Love
right.
that guy.
Well, I don't want to invite somebody, I'd be a rude person. I
When you-
have scruples, I think.
He's a typically drunk American who is quite foul-mouthed and unapologetic. Why wouldn't we love him on the country?
Pretty fucking awesome. Yes, I agree.
I only have one thing to say. I hate everything you stand for.
Catchphrase of the night. Drink when you hear that.
But you love everything I sit for and lay down for, don't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know what you look like.
You don't want to.
You don't know. You don't. Yeah.
But considering you sound like Satan gargling hot asphalt, I'm sure you're ugly.
Yes.
He sounds like if your boss came from the south. Oh wait.
I look like as if someone set my face afire and put it out with a rake.
Ah, that's pretty good. I like that one.
We need to have Poe on this show a lot more often.
Oh, we need to not have Poe here ever again.
Schmeckle's farts sound like this.
Oh, shit.
Barry.
I have invited the Gutenberg.
There we are. Gutenberg's. I mean, I've only met him the one time, but he's the one that got a bunch of those Antifa clips, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's
also
like a
one of
cool
Scooby's
guy.
buds.
Yep. He's.
Oh wait, no, is he a friend of Scooby, or is he just he has fake beef with P?
I don't know. Him and Scooby were on together when I had him on. I
Everybody's
don't know
Scooby's
if they're
friend.
friends or something.
Yeah, Scooby pretty much makes friends with just about anybody as long as you're not the Bronx blogger or somebody of his type.
Schmeckle is the only man I know who can make anal beads afraid.
I don't know if that's possible.
Holy Christ!
I can't even see the logic behind that insult. I just know it was funny.
All I have is a bad visual of anal beads screaming for mercy. I need to stop drinking.
Magog! Hey, you and I have a video to make. You enchant the anal beads and I'll do my thing.
We're gonna make you famous, baby.
This is going on ChatterBait or Pornhub, one of the two.
It'll go on
Magog
the
does
country
porn
Pornhub
star
account. It'll be
casting
perfect.
couch.
No,
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna
only
be
place
on,
this belongs is
Schmeckle's safe word is Weinstein.
I feel like that's the wrong safe word.
Oh Lord, that's pretty goddamn good, man. It's
Get out of here, Pooh! No, I'm
The belt
busy insulting
fucking
the
cock.
monkey.
I don't care. Was it good insults?
Yeah, they were.
He got a good one in.
I
I'm not
said that he
sure.
makes anal beads afraid.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't think any of us want to know what that means. I think
All
we can
right,
start.
I'm going to get out of here and let the guy take over. So I just want to say, thanks for watching, and remember, things could always be worse. You could be Schmeckle in a store of anal beads.
Ironically, not worse for the store's bottom line.
All the anal beads
But not big from my
screaming.
wallet.
And for the record, I am not riding anybody's dick. Okay.
What's
Just
up,
had to get
fellas?
that out of the red.
Yeah.
All right, Bear. All right, Bear. By the end of tonight, you will be riding my dick. I mean, irate prostate. Shit. I read irate and I say Bear.
It's okay. It's okay. It's the accent. I know.
Both apply. What's up, guys?
Oh
Hey.
shit! It's
Yeah, it's the
was it?
normie.
Jeremy,
Normie.
Cooper, Malcolm.
Cooper Malcolm. Yeah, I'll roll with that.
I damn near hacked up a lung.
JMC, motherfucker. JMC.
JMC. There we go. How you doing tonight, JMC? We just finished talking to some faggy wizard and a bird.
I know, isn't it entertaining?
I enjoyed the wizard, kind of.
That's because Poe brought the burn.
Man, he was mean tonight.
Poe is always fucking mean. Any fucking time Poe shows up, like, I just get happy because it's gonna get vicious and unapologetically savage. It's gonna be good.
All right, for fuck's sake, we got Scooby in the chat saying Canadian. Wait, I gotta do this as Scooby. Canadians and Southerners. I see how it is. Fuck the guy from New York.
Hey, I live in
Brockus, can you Send a
Minnesota.
link to fucking Scooby.
I will gladly send a link to Scooby. I thought he might have been doing his own thing. That's why I didn't want to bug him.
Hey, I love
Scooby. We've got way off the path of the comic shit, so I figure we might as well just do a custom at this point.
It's
Probably.
very. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can leave if you guys want to talk comics and shit.
No, man. Well, we were talking DC tonight. That's
It's not
boring.
entirely just the comics, mostly the movies.
Is it a sad thing that I know a lot about what's going on in the DC new comics and a lot of the old stuff?
The first part's a little sad. The second part, not so much.
DC is actually kicking Marvel's ass right now. They've had some good story arc.
For now.
I love the Injustice stuff. That's all. That was some solid shit.
The Injustice comics, even though they're not technically written by the DC guys, are really fucking phenomenal. They are great.
Love that shit.
Yeah, but I like where like indie comics are going. Like mainstream comics are still just like I've fallen out of them for many years. But like, there's a new comic out by this indie project called Rags, and that's really
good.
cool. Like really great artwork. They're unapologetic. They got fucking racist jokes in it and shit. Like it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I've seen
they're
some stuff
completely
for Rags.
unapologetic. They're like, "Fuck you, mainstream comics. We got fucking titties and racist jokes. Fuck you."
I forget, but is Rags the one with that girl in a bikini running around during the
Yes.
zombie apocalypse?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I've been trying to find a copy of that. I can't find it. I really want to read it.
No,
You go to bro.
Yeah, no, you go to their website and you can download the censored or uncensored digital copies, but I don't think they have print yet because they're a completely indie project. I mean, they've only raised like $900 on Patreon.
That's pretty fucking
The
cool.
majority of independent comic books right now are going completely digital just because of the way the industry is.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think, man, that was Marvel's plan all along?
No.
Was to fucking kill people kill the industry to a point where nobody would buy print comics anymore, and then as soon as they could justify it financially to just stay digital, right, and then bring back the good storytelling.
Semaj actually pointed out the actual truth behind what was happening. It was basically a bunch of easily hurt SJW-esque feminist fucking overlords who went into all of our fucking fan bases, all of our fucking hobbies and shit like that, took over to prove the point that they could just fucking do whatever they wanted.
I agree with Brockus on that one, strictly for the fact that a lot of the stuff, like the reboot of Thundercats, and then when you guys were talking about Hera, I was just like, fuck, is nothing sacred anymore?
I have something to say to that. I really do, and I think this is a very good point. I was in art school, okay? I was going for graphics design, but still. You have to understand that this was predictable because do you know the caliber of people coming out of art school?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bound to happen. Comic book companies are hiring artists. Guess what artists are? They're all a bunch of fucking crazy ass pink haired liberal fucktards.
Well, you know what? They could be hiring fucking the fucking Magogs, the fucking Semajes to.
But we don't want to work in that industry.
Magog, though, don't
Semaj does. Brockus does.
There's a few
classified yourself as said. I certainly was when I graduated from art school.
There was there's a few things that go on here. One of which, like all the really good, talented artists, they're in their 40s and stuff. And they have plenty of experience, but they are also a lot more expensive to work with because they have all that experience that they can draw on.
And it's
but you could
to hire one of the low-based artists that are pink-haired and not have to cough up a lot of cash.
Well, not only that, they hire a lot of foreign artists from Spain and all that, and who actually hate the industry, but they like the money, and they don't really care about good quality because they're literally putting out shit because they really don't care, and they're trying to show that they don't like this because they're anti-American. They hate working. Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still hope because, like, when I was in sequential media, which was kind of a comic book class, that's sequential media.
Yeah.
My teacher, Dusty, he was kind of self-published. He had a book called Pinocchio Vampire Hunter, which was kind of a really interesting blending. And it's actually really good, and the art style is really great, and he self-published it and everything, but he seemed a little bit more like SJW than most, but at the same time, he grew up like he loved Conan. He loved Conan the Barbarian and shit like that. Frank Frazetta, know,
Nice.
and artwork like that. So he wasn't as like hippy dippy as some of the students, but he was in the industry for a long time. So that was my favorite class of all of my time at school because we had a class period where he got on a Hangouts. He did a stream and got in contact with somebody he met in the industry, and it was the artist who created Deadpool.
Wow.
And so we got to
Liefeld.
Yeah, we got to actually talk with him on screen for like 2 hours. He came to our class.
Very
basically.
cool.
And that was really, really cool experience. Outside of that, I hated college.
I can completely relate. When I was in college, the guy that was teaching the drawing courses was a gentleman who was I don't know if you'd count as he'd be a Black Lives Matter guy now, but at the time he was just a like Black Power type. But his comic that he produced and he sold, actual print issues for, was all about like it was basically the Justice League, but all the characters were black. It was all about Black Power. And about 2 years after I graduated, I ran into him at a comic, like one of the biggest comic shops in Chicago, assuming they're still open now. I ran into a couple years later, and he was having an argument with the guy that owned the place. Like, what do you mean none of my comics have sold? And then I flashed back to a friend of mine who had bought the entire run of his comics, the entire run of this guy's comics, which was like 200, 300 issues, for the price of, get this shit off of my table, and you can have it.
Yeah, like you just walk in with like an IOU card, and the guy's like, okay, whatever.
Like the guy that was running the booth was like, I can't. It's taking up space in my van. Going from these, just take it all.
Yeah,
We can't get people to steal this shit.
Yeah.
Yep. And another guy actually came physically to our class, and he was an artist that's worked on Conan comics for like the past like 10 years or something. And he brought comic panels with him, and they were just the inked and drawn, what he, scanned on to actually send to the publisher. And so he had the original work with him, and he even sat down and had an unfinished page and just showed us how he works with ink. And that motherfucker is fast. Jesus Christ. You could tell he'd been in the industry a long time because his pen was like,
oh yeah.
He was fucking done cross-hatching and hatching in like minutes.
My favorite meet and greet I ever got to do in college, though, is I met a couple of the guys who worked at Lucas Lights and Magic, and they were responsible for the 3D side of things for the prequels.
Right.
And it was funny because they were both done in the industry. Like they were out, they were working independently, so they didn't have to worry about like what they said necessarily. And like, oh God, Lucas is fucking insane.
Yep. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Like, I think there's still people in the industry who just want to do good art the way they learned it, the way they were inspired by other artists like Frank Frazetta and people like what's his name? I follow him on Twitter. I fucking love his artwork. Just skipped my mind, but I'll think of it in a minute. But
there we go. We got
people like Dan Levisi and people like that. They are unapologetic for their artwork. They just love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all ever seen Dan Levisi's artwork, but I fucking love Dan Levisi.
Is the Conan comic still going? Because I remember the ones from like back in the 90s and like late 80s, but is it still ongoing?
I think it's more like indie projects, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still going. I only remember that's what that guy kind of did, but he obviously worked on all kinds of other stuff. But I don't know if he's still working on Conan's, but he definitely brought a few panels from Conan, and it was awesome to see. I don't know if those were old and that he just brought them in, but it was awesome to see, the actual like realistic artwork, like what you guys were talking about earlier with like the redesign of Thundercats and She-Ra and stuff. It's like, God, nothing will compare to that Frank Frazetta inspired human body,
She-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is coming from the one motherfucker here that actually does like realistic type shit, right? Like, you got a bias in that direction, right?
Yeah, you'd definitely have to look up Frank Frazetta, and you'd know it instantly as soon as you see it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a given.
I wish that I would have kept some of it. I actually had several issues of old school Conan comics from the 80s, and that shit got fucking stolen because of the house that I was living in caught on fire.
Oh, jeez.
And it didn't destroy everything, but the motherfuckers that moved out all of our stuff that wasn't destroyed stole half of my shit.
This is probably one of his most famous images.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Death Dealer. Oh yeah.
Dealer, yeah.
Oh damn!
But he had this really great like dark
Yep.
chiaroscuro.
I had that poster on that one right there. I had that
There's-
poster on my wall.
There's Conan. Yeah.
Good God, that is so fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, Frank Frazetta is no fucking joke, man. He has whole books, of his work and stuff. His stuff is absolutely gorgeous.
Because some of this art was actually used for some of the book, the original, the original stories.
Yeah, you're going back to the 70s here,
Oh yeah.
But some of this stuff is just really brilliant because of his poses and stuff. And he's actually a master inker. A lot of his like just black and white ink stuff is really brilliant too.
Man, his use of color. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I remember like
I had that poster too.
He liked to he had families and all that, and he liked to just sort of kill time or waste time and all that doing fun stuff. And he recalled, or I think his wife reminded him, "Oh yeah, you have a deadline. You need to have this ink image done by tomorrow." And the guy panicked, and he didn't have anything to work, no canvases, no nothing. So he literally ripped off his floorboard, cut it to the right size, and turned it over and put a little paper canvas in there, some ink. He just did a quick little ink picture that he stayed up all night finishing it up and everything. But he did it. He made it work, and it was still brilliant.
And this
Sometimes
artist here
panic is the greatest motivator.
Last minute shit. Now this is another artist that did some Conan stuff, Christos Achilleos, and his most famous image is definitely this one.
Oh yeah.
Heavy metal.
Original heavy metal, not the shitty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Christos Achilleos, and he has this real beautiful use of color.
See,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
did anybody read any of the old heavy metal magazine?
I did.
Oh yeah.
I read.
You know that's Kevin Eastman has that now. The guy who was one of the co-creators of the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that's what he did with his half of it. He sold out to Peter Laird, and then Peter Laird in turn turned around and sold his basically controlling portion of Ninja Turtles to Viacom to Nintendo. Now the deal was though, part of the stipulation, it does not affect Mirage Studios. So Peter Laird still retains Mirage Studios, so that they're still going to be producing Ninja Turtle comics in the foreseeable future. Yeah.
Oh, let me pull up Dan Levisi. He's more of a modern artist. He does this shit in fucking Photoshop, and it blows my mind. Oh, God.
Are you familiar with Tom Lockwood's work at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's good, and
the digital artists make me sad because I wish I was this good with Photoshop.
This is all like painted in Photoshop using a tablet.
Yeah.
I love his like
beautiful.
Sesame Street gangster shit.
Yeah.
Shit cracks me up, man. Oh man, I can't wait until they make a movie out of his Last Man Standing Kill Book of a Bounty Hunter. Man, it's a really great little story.
Today's
Of it.
Yep. Today's episode was sponsored by the letter E, ecstasy.
Look at that. Look at that shit.
This episode brought to you by meth and poor life decisions.
Here's Dan Levisi's fucking Mickey Mouse.
Oh God!
Hey, look, it's Cyberpunk Undoomed.
He's shiny.
I was gonna say, is that the guy from Daft Punk?
This is Dan Levisi's Venom, man. That's fucking.
that is
God,
that
man,
is
he does
beautiful.
Quick question. I
Clean
want to.
work.
Quick question. I want to ask the crowd: how many people here think that the Venom movie is going to either be a hit or a flop?
It's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck.
I want to give it a chance because it is.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is Tom Hardy.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I think
They're gonna fuck it up.
economically speaking, I think it's going to be a success because Venom is such a popular comic character. But as far as like staying power, I think it's going to be a failure, just based on what we've seen so far.
Yep.
Yeah, well, people are kind of burnt out on comic book movies anyway, so I think it'll be a success as long as it's better than the third Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. So
I think it's only been. I think I do disagree on that sense. I don't think people are burnt out on superheroes, but I think they are burnt out if you have too many at once. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't sell nearly as well. So far, hasn't done as well.
There was no break. I mean,
Yeah,
what
there
was
was
it?
no break.
It was like 2 months.
Like like this, like Ant-Man and the Wasp should come out in like November or something
Yeah.
like that. That would be a better thing because in the summer that's a bit much, and we
I
already have
actually
like
talked to people. They're like, "Wait, that's already out." Like,
yeah,
they
exactly.
They didn't even realize it had come out yet.
Well, and
Hopefully.
prior to that, we also have like other companies out there like the Deadpool and all that, because that was Fox's decision on when they released that. Disney had no say on that, so it kind of flooded the market a bit. So yeah, that kind of burnout can happen, but I think overall with superheroes, I don't think there's really a burnout going on.
Well,
I do-
Ant-Man and the
Yeah.
Wasp wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad of a movie. It was
I
not
heard
as
it's
good.
not bad at all.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as say the first Ant-Man movie, but it wasn't like horrible. And
Well,
why did it like not do very well in revenue?
Well, it hasn't come out in China yet, so it's probably gonna make do pretty well. But so
Financially,
far,
it's fine, but it's not hitting the numbers they were hoping for.
Mm.
which is to be expected. But also, I mean, as far as they can tell, they're not really all that happy with Evangeline Lilly's character, the Wasp. She's not doing that well. She's not very popular. So
Yeah.
I
Well, of
wonder
course
why.
not. She's the tall, nice-looking white broad. That's why.
Yeah.
Exactly
Well,
what it is. She's
I
not
don't
doing
know.
good with the A/B testing.
Well, I mean, people like the characters that they've already fallen in love with. So, like, Ant-Man's actually not a hated character. They like Ant-Man, but they focus more on the Wasp. Like, people like Ant-Man. Don't take us away. Let's just have her in like this sequel, and then people will just fall in love with her. That's just give the audience time to get used to the character.
Right.
I don't know. I thought she was fuckable.
It's not.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what I hear all the SJWs by me complaining about. That this is what they're bitching about. She's the wrong color. She's straight. Why is he in charge? Shit of that nature. You got to remember, they're all batshit crazy. But
Because she's straight, white, and in the comic books, that is how she's always been. Janet Van Dyne was sort of redesigned to look like she might have been mixed race, but she wasn't. She was fucking white. Get over it, you SJW cunts!
well, you got to remember, in the Marvel,
Well, fucking sense. Why would you throw a fit over a character that has been established, has a long-lasting storyline, already has the race established? Why fucking throw a fit now and have everybody go through all this fucking continuity changes just to
Because
suit
then
your
it's
fucking point of view?
theirs in their mind instead of just embracing the character or, getting a new character that would be interesting in its own way.
That was the whole
Yeah,
reason
but
why
we've seen
Scott
how that
was
works.
created.
Who I'm sharing right now is one of the other reasons why I kind of fell in love with DC at a young age. Alex Ross's
Is he,
Ross
is he,
is just shit, man.
is a because he has this style that's not exactly like ripped total muscle. It's very realistic.
so
Yeah.
he is.
I
This
have
is
that
the-
issue somewhere in
It's
the house.
photographic, like watercolor.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice shit, man.
This
Yeah,
is-
probably one of his most recognizable is this one, Joker and Harley. Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Quick question:
Yeah.
Is this the guy that also did Kingdom Come? All the
Yes.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Kingdom
love
Come
that.
and Marvels.
All that shit I've got in first editions, the whole run of everything.
What
All
I
that
loved-
shit. all Alex Ross.
Yeah,
I love
he-
the fact that Alex Ross was the only artist. I mean, they had a few other people working with him, but he was essentially the main artist throughout the entire project. Because usually you get 2 or 3 different artists on a big project like that, but they basically said, "No, it's all Alex. This is Alex's show.
All
Let's
Alex
give him
all the
whole thing."
time.
And I was just like, "Yes, it was the most beautiful, consistent book miniseries I had
Did
ever
you dig
seen.
his zombies, man?
It's my fucking Bible in comic book history. I swear."
Wait, did a zombie comic too?
After
Yeah.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
I wonder, was Alex Ross the guy who did the cover for?
And I just
Didn't
love how
Kirk-
much
didn't Kirkman write
comic
that?
art has improved over the years, though. Having held the original issue that Superman was in, then you look at that cover, and then you see where art is now. It's just like, oh, it's so cool to watch the evolution of how each generation of artists has taken what they could from the previous just to improve and improve. Whereas it used to be kind of seen as, oh, this is just for kids. Now it's like, no, this is a legit art form, and we're going to put our everything into it.
I had this that I'm presenting here. This is an
Oh, I love that.
when I was a kid, this blew my mind. The perspective, like, I'm going to show Spider-Man fighting Green Goblin, but I'm going to do it in a real unique way from the perspective of the people inside the building.
Yeah,
it blew my mind, man.
I actually used to have that poster, and I loved the artwork for it. I didn't know he did this artwork too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been around for a while, and he's great at what he does.
Can you imagine, dude? Him like, I mean, goddamn, it would take me at least a month to do a whole book like that. You know, just one fucking book.
Well, it does actually take him a while to do stuff because there is a lot of work involved.
My god.
Yeah, he basically, like, he works really fast with watercolors, but it's still like, it's hard.
It's beautiful.
You have to wait for certain parts of it to dry, and I mean,
And then he also take it into the account it's watercolor, so someone bumps the table he's working on. Oh, there goes 8 hours of work.
Right?
Yeah, no shit.
I might be wrong. I remember seeing like an interview or reading an interview that he'd done because it was printed and all that he actually hires models and to actually pose and all that and take pictures.
Yeah.
So he uses that as a reference. I mean, that's pretty good, and that's also very classically done artwork or art method, if you will. So that's quite something.
Yeah.
My life drawing teacher, she just I was so terrible at drawing the female form. She just took me to strip club and said, "Start drawing."
Now this artist inspires me with his ink work.
That's a legit comic strip.
Yeah,
that looks like Frazetta, man, from just from the look.
Yeah, this is Jai Lee.
Oh yeah, Jai Lee, man. Yeah, of course.
I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of his Dark Tower series, but yeah, sorry, go on.
I thought I didn't care for the story because I don't really care for Stephen King, but the art was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
God. I know they'll like put a shitty writer with a really good artist and vice versa.
Right.
Yeah.
The art never seems to match up with the great storyline half the time, but when you do get those storylines where the art just matches up perfectly.
Well, do you remember when Peter David was doing the Mr. Fix-It Gray Hulk storyline, and they had this fucking, god awful artist doing this shit, but it was just such a great story, man. And then they went into Hulk integrated into like it was Banner's mind in the Hulk's body, and and they did the Pantheon, that whole group of people. It was incredible stuff. And finally got good art.
Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, McFarlane.
That's the only time I remember the Gray Hulk was with McFarlane.
Yeah,
and I just pulled him up because you can't talk about comic book ink art.
Know what?
Without talking about McFarlane. The man was brilliant. You can't deny it.
He was. The guy still knocks it out of the fucking park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here's a funny thing. I watched a documentary I think it was about Spider-Man. It was about comics in general. And I find it funny that some of the people that were on the documentary or whatever the fuck it was, they were talking shit saying that Todd McFarlane wasn't a great artist. Know what I find funny about that statement? Is that when you look at most of the Spider-Man art T-shirts with Spider-Man doing his webbing, his poses,
a lot of it's by McFarlane.
Yeah, how funny is that? The guy who is quote-unquote the shitty artist, because it was like a couple of people that worked for Marvel when he worked there, they were critiquing his artwork, talking shit about, oh, you shouldn't put this much detail into the webbing, you're doing these odd facial expressions, but yet you're willing to bleed his artwork to make a buck.
That dude turned chains in comic books into a fetish. Come on now.
Yeah, seriously. He breathed life back into Ghost Rider with that art that he was doing when he was doing Ghost Rider's art.
Oh, what about
seriously?
Mark Texeria?
Yeah.
Texeria, is that his name?
What is it?
Mark Texeria. He did Ghost Rider too. I can't remember when. But it was right after that era. I think he took over after McFarlane had done it. I can't remember. But I've got every bit of this shit somewhere.
Yeah, we all do.
In my books.
When I actually started, because I grew up with Spider-Man, because my dad got me into Spider-Man. when I actually started reading the comic books, I came in reading it from the Todd McFarlane storyline. So I fell in love with his artwork and the way he wrote. And I love Spawn. Spawn is by far, because there's only two top tier heroes that I love the most, and that's Spawn and Spider-Man. And
I'm a Spawn Constantine fan myself.
Yeah.
Spidey's my hero. I actually got to meet Stan Lee and get his autograph, so I can't turn my back on the Spider.
That's right.
Now the image I'm putting up here, I actually had this issue. It was the crossover Batman Spawn.
That was a great
run for Capullo and McFarlane as artists, man. It was fucking brilliant, man.
The year that I got Stan Lee's autograph, I wish that I knew, because I got rid of my pamphlet when I went to Comic-Con. McFarlane was there, and I was like, fucking McFarlane's here too? And they were it was on the last day that we were gonna leave to head back to where we live, and they were actually gonna do a panel and take questions on how they developed their characters. Stan Lee was gonna talk to McFarlane, and they were gonna both talk about how they handled Spider-Man, and I was like, fuck, we're leaving today?
Yeah.
I want to say before we move on, because I can tell we're about to. I really like Greg Capullo's work, because I first saw him doing work at Image with Spawn and all that, and it was kind of weird seeing, because he transitioned and he started working for DC doing Batman, and it's still his style, but you can tell that McFarlane did the inking, because when McFarlane inks, he has a lot of cross-hatching when there wasn't any.
Right.
He puts a lot, but it adds some motion and more detail. But it adds a lot of what some people would say is unnecessary line work. But it's still entertaining. But
what about Zipatone? What about artists using that? What do y'all think about that?
Depends on how it's used.
Yeah.
You know,
John Byrne.
Now here's another artist that I love, probably because of this image, Greg Horn. The Power Girl push-ups. Fucking Marines yelling at her.
You call that a push-up?
I love how like the one guy's hat's flying off, and this dude's like cheering. He's like, "Yeah, get some!" Here's the Batman Catwoman. He's got milk.
Okay, I like that image. I like that image a lot.
One of the funniest Batman Catwoman images I think I've ever seen is one of those joke ones where they were like doing like sex scenes with superheroes from DC and shit. My favorite one of my favorite ones has got to be Batman with the red eye laser pointing it at the bed with Catwoman looking at him questionably. I'm just like, God damn it, of course. Of course.
I saw one similar to that. I saw a couple of ones similar to that. Him and fucking Catwoman are getting it on, and he starts explaining how his parents died in the middle of it, and she's like, fuck this, I'm out. And then another one was that it's our 5th year anniversary being together, and he hands her a present. She opens it up, and it's a fucking little keychain with a Nightwing on it. And he goes, "Do you get it? It's a dick in the box."
God.
But I think one of the reasons why I love Greg Horn's art is he's a master of perspective.
Yeah.
He does shit like this where they're all looking down at the camera, basically, and it's really, really well done.
Ooh, I like his Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm looking at some of these pictures here. But is he a CG artist? Does he like draw over top?
No, these are classic airbrush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some of these are like.
Some of them, I think he has switched to digital. Like this one is probably.
So where's that game at in the PlayStation Store?
I know.
What sort of attachments does it come with?
Well, that's
Where
an
the
interesting
peripherals?
rendition of Leia. She's got like tattoos and. I want to see that Leia. Not some old bitch that gets sucked down into space and then magically survives.
Yeah, that was weird.
But will magically not be in the next film.
Back in the
because
day,
of life.
she was hot. Back in the day, she was very fucking
Oh
hot.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, but I
And
mean,
if you had the Laserdisc version, you could see her nipples.
honestly, the only reason like Greg Horn even came onto my radar is because of Power Girl. Man, he did a lot of her cover art. That was just like I was like, I like this big titty bitch. I want to read about her.
What I loved about the Power Girl character is that they openly made the tit jokes with her. They did not hold back on making the tit jokes.
Oh, it wasn't even that. If you read her comic book history, when they first invented her, they knew that the company really wasn't paying attention. They just told them to go off and make a fucking female superhero comic book. Bigger. And every issue, they just make her tits bigger and bigger until their editors noticed. They wanted to see how long that it could go until they noticed.
That's that's what you call a character epic. How big can we get her titties? Go for it.
She eventually got to G cup before they fucking said stop.
Right.
And they reduced it down to triple D.
Yep.
Even a real size. Did they have to make that shit up for that bitch?
Well, my wife's an H cup, so.
Damn.
You can stop.
Good for you. Fuck.
I've closed it down.
Bravo.
You can stop presenting me now. I've closed down Google Images.
There's no chance she got H cup titties, and she's thin.
Oh no, my wife is thick as well, and that's beautiful. I tell her all the time she looks like Salma Hayek came off a diet. You know, my wife, she's got curves like a racetrack in all the right places. Gabish?
Yeah, that's
or
right.
pushing for the pushing. That's not a bad thing.
But that's what I was bringing up with the Rags comic, though. I like that there are artists out there going, you know what? Fuck the industry. We'll do it on our own.
That's right.
Well, welcome to the digital age, man. They can get a Patreon going. People like their work. They'll fund it. These guys are offering like a superior art style for such a cheap comic book. I mean, the uncensored downloads for the digital comic are $1.99.
You're fucking kidding.
Yeah.
What? All right. Where is this? What is? Can you put the link in the side or some shit?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'd appreciate that, man. Because I'm down for like reading something worth a shit.
Yeah, they've only got 2 volumes out plus a prequel volume, but it's based on, and I love how they base the character on a real life young lady who I follow on Twitter now, and she's like a redhead, used to be a Marine.
Oh
like she actually has the real tattoos. The way they draw her and everything is like the way she actually looks in real life. So they started doing this thing where like she cosplays as different things, and then they'll do the art for it and stuff. It's called ragszombie.com.
This is wicked, dude.
Yeah, ragszombie.com, and you can go there and buy the censored or the uncensored. Actually, uncensored is $1.50, not $1, and the regular uncensored is 99 cents.
Oh, this is great, man.
Yeah, it's great artwork, man. It's real, and
that is some crisp artwork. I will admit that.
Yeah, it's sharp. It's good shit, man. For an indie, see, that's the deal. They don't have that fucking industry, moolah behind them. Putting top notch, inkers or shit on it. And using editors. These guys are self-editing, and I love it.
Right? Yeah. And they're doing their own thing, and they don't care what people think about it. Like every time they post an image from the comic book, they get a shit ton of crap from SJWs on Twitter making fun of like how Rags is dressed and everything. And the model that poses for Rags is all like, yo, come on, bring it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not ashamed of my body.
See, this is something I've thought about sometimes too, is the artwork and storylines kind of gone downhill because they have that financial backing, because there's no real risk to losing anything? Or is it like a 50-50 that it's not only that, but also the SJW aspect?
Yeah. And then they release all this like great promo artwork too. I'm presenting right now, but they do all these really great little bits of different types of art. They got her in different costumes, They're kind of hand drawing some stuff and throwing it up. They give the fans a lot of stuff to look at while they're waiting for the next, page to drop or whatever.
Well,
like
and
there's the Merry Christmas Rags.
There you go. Well, I can tell by looking at this artwork, they're military buffs, and so there's lots of gear and stuff, and that kind of attention to detail is also really, really appreciated.
Here's the characters. I love reading this. This was cool. The world of Rags is violent, crazy, and absolutely ridiculous. Rags follows the misadventures of former USMC combat veteran Corporal Regina Rogowski as she struggles to deal with her debilitating PTSD from her deployment and ouster from the Marine Corps, as well as continuing loss from those she loves. Operator is a soldier who reached a breaking point during initial outbreak and never made the journey back to sanity. Though smarter and more caring than he acts, he's enjoying the apocalypse for what it is, a conflict zone rich with targets he can indiscriminately kill without repercussions. He'll do anything to ensure that the plague keeps going, having a great dislike for civilian life. And then
Judy Hannah Smith, otherwise known as Muffin, is a former San Diego counter-drug agent and the anchor that keeps both Regina and operators' normally gray morality in check. Though initially distrustful of the duo, they eventually form a bond not unlike that of a real military unit. Muffin and Regina become very close and are nearly sisters, while she and Operator have a love-hate relationship, often seeing who can make the most racist joke before the other gets offended.
That's excellent, man. Are these guys vets or are they yeah, good, man. That's awesome.
Classy.
That's like the kind of shit that me and Schmeckel would be doing if we were writing a fucking comic book and having Semaj draw it all.
Some more to support these motherfuckers.
And this is the censored version, so we don't get flagged off. But you can
titties.
See they put the bunny, But
I want titties.
It's really well drawn. It has that interesting kind of like that Frank Miller thing where parts of it are black and white, other parts are colored. Mm-hmm. But it's really well done,
See, that's something else too. You can make racist jokes. You can make comments like that if it's, if it actually goes along with the storyline, enhances the storyline, or makes the storyline better. But that's real life too. You can't, throw a fit when you see it in like a comic book or a movie or something like that. That shit happens every single day. I never understand how people can throw a fit about that, but I want to read this comic book now strictly for that. I love it.
Yeah, and I love this. Like, they really good at drawing emotion, like anger.
I like the artwork.
Yeah. I discovered them on Twitter and was just like, these guys need to be promoted, man. They're only making $900 a month on Patreon. They could do a whole lot better. She's lost her clothes.
Ruh-roh.
And then they always throw a nice little interesting art piece on the back of the comic,
I know that Diversity in Comics has been talking about them. I think Captain Cummings is talking about them every now and then. So that's good. And so as they keep making good content and all, like coming out with new comics, they'll always get out there. Who knows? They might even have a crossover in well, probably not, with some other like Jawbreakers or something.
Well, I kind of like that they're kind of an indie project, so that they're not swamped by the comic book companies that are going to tell them what to write and what they can put in their comic. That's why I respect them. It's what I'm trying to do with my show. I'm going to do my own sitcom. I'm not going to have a studio telling me what I can and can't put in my fucking show.
That's right. We want naked fucking titties everywhere, all the time.
Titties everywhere.
You kind of need that naked.
We need the Titno state or the Titno state.
Image would probably do they would probably do very well in Image.
Yeah, maybe a comic book company like that aren't as
Marvel's too far gone and DC is very iffy, but Image they would thrive pretty well in. Image loves.
Well, here's the thing to keep in mind with Image. They're very SJW in the people who run it. However, when they do decide to publish your comic, you pretty much have free range to do whatever you want, unless there's some sort of fan backlash, and that could come from SJ. What?
Oh, no, you're telling me Image has gone to the dark side too?
Oh yeah, they've been.
Yeah.
Look, ever since Todd McFarlane decided to step down from doing the comic stuff and focus on the entertainment, because he's focusing on making movies and TV series. Because that's what he's focusing on. He kept everyone out for the most part because he's like, that's stupid. That's terrible. Don't do that.
The gatekeeper.
He was the guy who made sure that no one fucked up. But now they're fucking up. And also they let all these people come in because they had one success. And that's Saga. And if you don't know what Saga is, probably the most SJW progressive comic out there. But here's the weird thing. It's actually good. I
like Sex Criminals, man.
That's another one, yeah.
Yes. I like reading Invincible. That's probably like the newest Image comic I've been reading.
Oh, Invincible's good though.
All right, what about what's it called? Outcast? The two Kirkman, Kirkman stuff. I'm a Kirkman fag, so.
Like when it comes to comics, at least in the modern age, because obviously I gave up a lot of mainstream comics when I discovered video games. But then when I came back to comic books, the ones I found I liked were like a lot of the underground indie stuff, like The Boys, 100 Bullets.
Oh, God.
I have heard so many good things about The Boys.
That one to me is 50-50. It's dark, but it also has a very interesting storyline.
Yeah, it's one of those that just kind of captures your imagination because of how dark it is, but it's just as dark as a lot of the others, like Preacher and 100 Bullets and
Preacher,
stuff like that.
Dude.
Preacher is a wonderful comic book. I got
the entire run, man. First,
Yep.
Yeah.
God damn you! I hate you now.
Look, if you got the right amount of money, man, and look, I'm talking about, it's cheap compared. So yeah, I gotta sell this shit. I got no room, man.
You hold on to like the number ones because those might sell. Who knows?
Quick question. I actually have the first edition of Speedball. How much is that worth?
Not much.
Speedball?
Give it another.
Is that a Ditko book?
Give it another 20 years. It should be worth something reasonable.
Was that Ditko Speedball?
I don't know who did the artwork or developed the character. I got it at a fucking yard sale in a box full of random comics.
Yeah, I think it's Steve Ditko. That was his original character and stuff, and it was a big flop, which sucks.
What is it?
Steve Ditko was a great classic artist. Drew the early Spider-Man.
How much do you think is the first appearance of Deadpool?
A lot.
That's worth a lot.
Yeah,
yes, I got that.
New Mutants number 98 is fuck. God damn it. What is the actual price of it? Hold on.
I don't actually think it's going to be worth all that much. Not because it's not a popular thing or an iconic first appearance, but also because a lot of these books usually go up in value after the creators either walked away or passed away.
Yeah. It's like I've got like Black Goliath, some of those racial type magazines from back in the day. Those can be worth a little bit. Black Goliath, I think it's I would rate it as probably 8.5, maybe 8.7. And it said it was worth like $180. But it's that older stuff. It's not like it used to be, man. I remember in the 80s, man, you could trade books and get fucking big bucks for them.
Well, some of them you can. I have the Death of Superman that's never been out of its see-through package.
Oh, Bubba, got some.
That's a good one to hold on to.
Yeah, that's the one that has the Superman logo on the actual plastic package too. It wasn't just a comic book sleeve. Ones. Yeah, it's not just the comic book sleeve. It's actually came sealed in a fucking package with the Superman logo on it. And
it should have also a newspaper on the inside of it too.
Yes, it does. I had to Google image what the cover looked like because I never opened it. And apparently it's like Lois Lane holding him and he's all fucked up, and then like his cape is flapping in the wind and it's all tore up behind her.
They used that for the cover for the graphic novel when they combined everyeverything.
It was Onslaught, wasn't it? No, Onslaught was fucking.
No, it was Doomsday.
It was Doomsday. That's right. Onslaught.
Yeah, I own a couple of copies of it, regular and black bag. What I was trying to say, I completely forgot while we were talking. I'm not sure. I'd have to look because I have a few cases of comics over here. I might actually have the entire Walt Simonson run of Thor holding up my hamper.
Fuck yeah!
Damn.
Fuck
what
yeah!
What I can tell. If you have a New Mutants number 98 at 9.9 CGC, it is worth $11,700.
You're not going to find anything 9.9.
But 9.8, you'll get $770.
It drops pretty quick.
Well, because what is it? It's the cover of him charging at one of those, charging at a dude, right? That's the first appearance.
What's the cover? I have a copy of New Mutants 98 on hand, actually.
Hey guys, I got a split, but I appreciate the invite, Smeckle, man. It's nice hanging out with you guys. Let's do this again, man, because I'll bust out my shit and turn on the camera and let y'all look at some of this shit I got. All right?
We're gonna shut down now anyway. I'm bored as shit.
By the way,
Semaj, do your Semaj thing.
Daterludes.
I have to say one thing real quick. I have to yell at Brockus. Wally West is faster than Barry. On one of the streams, you said Barry was faster than Wally. They've already proven Wally is faster than Barry.
That is writers basically overriding certain lore that has already been well established. Barry Allen is consistently considered the fastest out of all the Flashes due to the fact that not only is he so fast, he becomes death incarnate for all speedsters, the Black Racer, but he is the actual creator of the Speed Force. In other words, he can never run out of Speed Force power. He can actually achieve speeds that no one can actually achieve. And it is later established Wally does actually slow down as he ages. Barry only gets faster.
Before 52,
Nice.
they actually did talk about it, that Wally is more in tune with the Speed Force, even though Barry does... He did create the Speed Force. Wally is more in tune with it.
Again, that
what it
and
sounds like is, Wally can run out of it while Barry can't. So Barry can push himself to limits that Wally can't.
Actually, Wally can actually travel through time, unlike Barry, who needs the cosmic treadmill.
false. They actually rewrote that just before New 52.
Goddamn
Did they
time
mention
punches.
They did
'cause-
legitimately rewrite it because Barry Allen comes back through time because he finally learns how to manipulate time itself. He's actually able to achieve what Bart was the only one who could achieve at first, and then he teaches Wally and so on and so forth. Barry
Oh.
does exactly what Wally is
Damn
capable
it.
of doing.
Yeah,
Well,
this is why Alexander Luthor is a dick.
Because what is it? With the new current storyline, they actually said that Wally is faster than Barry. Because have you kept up with the Flash War?
I haven't, and the reason why is because when I went broke, I couldn't keep up with everything Rebirth because I was trying to keep up with a few other things. I was also trying to expand my my library with some independent comics like Boneheads. So I
Comics
kept.
Historian, it's the best way, or Comics Explained. If you
Oh
can't
yeah,
click
no,
on
I
it.
know Comics Explained. I'm a part of the Rob Corps.
Same thing here. What is it? They actually showed during Flash War that Wally can actually achieve more speed than Barry.
Again, rewritten
They-
by
yeah.
different writers. They just keep rebooting and rechanging and retconning almost everything
So-
Flash.
I am happy about one thing. They put the nail in the coffin stating that both Barry and Wally are faster than Superman. That made me happy because I fucking hate Superman.
I, as the nerd referee, I have to say that I think that this win goes to Brockus.
Oh, go fuck
Billy?
you. Fuck you. No one asked for your opinion. You sit your ass in the corner.
Yeah,
No,
I like
I-
talking about art, but I don't know any of this shit. So
That's okay. That's some pure nerd conversation you just heard. That is like, no.
Well, you know-
I'm out. Even this is over me.
I
Well,
can't help
I-
it.
this-
I'm a hardcore Flash guy. I can't help it.
Well, this shows you how old I feel because, I mean, I remember for years when it was just that Barry Allen had disappeared in the Speed Force. It was done over and that was it, and the end of it. That shows you how long ago I walked away from DC. It's been years.
When I came into reading Flash comics, it was during Wally West, so I'm a hardcore Wally West guy, and most people give me flack because I don't support Barry Allen, but that's who I came in on. It's like how most people give me flack because I like Kyle Rayner more than I like Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Well, are you guys familiar at all with Emerald Twilight? It went through
That
issue
was
48.
That was a great storyline. I know that.
Oh my God, it was fantastic. Issue 48, 49, and 50 of Green Lantern when he goes berserk and slaughters the entire Green Lantern Corps and blows up Oa.
That was such a great storyline, and I love the character of Imperial X, and it helped to. I know it's rewriting. I know it's trying to make everything fit together, but I love how they finally established why there was the yellow imperfection. Why?
Oh no,
he
I'm talking the
wasn't
one
saying-
before this. I'm talking years before this. I'm talking in the
Guys.
90s, the one written by Ron Mars.
Yeah, when he snaps after Coast City goes to shit and he kills all the Green Lanterns. I loved how that followed up into how they got to that point.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm talking when I read that. I think when did that happen? Was that 94, 95?
I believe that was 95.
Hey guys,
Alright,
do you smell fish?
I smell tuna. Does that count?
No, it's because I'm making a pussy joke. I'm saying that it's dry in here because we got here, guys. We had Igor, we had Irate Prostate, Magog, Schmeckel, Billy Senpai, Scooby. Who am I missing? I'm not missing anyone. I think myself. And we're done. Thanks for coming. That was a very nerdy stream.
Oh, you made me just feel sad inside now.